So we all love free comic books, and obviously we have access to Free Comic Book Day, right? Where your local LCS usually lets you pick out a few free comic books from multiple publishers every year or so. But it's not every day that you get a free short box full of comic books from a local shop. Now, this shop happens to be a local card shop that's a couple miles away from my house, and I stop in there every now and then. And on this particular day, I was there visiting to see if they had the latest Disney Lorcana trading card game set. Unfortunately, they didn't. As I was walking out of the shop, I happened to glance down and saw a couple piles of comics on the ground and kind of pointed them out. I said, oh, is somebody, selling some comics, or did you get some comics in? Because every now and then they'll have some comics on a table, but comics is definitely not their forte. And they happened to say, yeah, we're giving those away. And I just figured that they had already chosen someone to give them away to, and I kind of kept walking, and I was like, oh, all right. And another guy there that was in the store was like, well, you better look through them. And I said, so they're like available to give away, or you've already chosen someone to give them away to? Because I didn't want to take comics from somebody, if they had already designated someone to get the comics and they were just waiting for them to pick up. And they said, no, feel free to look through them. And I started to flip through the first two comics or so. And they're like, well, you can just take them all if you want. And I ended up grabbing the pile of comics, actually 2 piles of comics, got them into bags and boards recently, takes up a full short box. So a full short box of comics. And these weren't just junk comics, as you can kind of see right here. You might be able to make out a few of those books. Let's go ahead and go through them and see what we got. All right, to start things off, we have some independent books here. And, some of these were on the top of the pile when I started to look through this collection. And I actually wasn't sure if I was going to take these or even be happy that I picked them up from the card shop. But you know what? It was a stack of a bunch of comics. I knew that I could at least get $1 or so out of each one of them in my comic book booth at Hudson Antique Mall here in Wichita. So I, didn't really feel bad about picking these up. So nothing really crazy here, just some random comics. But we do get into some DC here. The Adventures of Superboy, some Superman. Now, it wouldn't be a comic book collection if we didn't have The Adventures of Superman number 500. Now, nothing too special about this book. It's in the, the white poly bag, but this one is also in like a hanger bag that is still sealed on the back. So I had never seen one inside of this clear outer bag. Let me know if you've seen one like that, or maybe where these were made available. And I don't want to give away too much of a spoiler about the next book, so I'm going to see if I can flip this over as quickly as possible. There we go. So see here, it's got this barcode on here, and that's on the outer bag here, not on the inner bag. I've never seen one like this, so I'll probably keep it in the bag here. Don't know if it's got any extra value or anything like that. This is a pretty common book, but just thought it was pretty interesting to see here. Now, the next book is the one that I am the most excited about, and let's just get right to it. Boom. Batman 423, an amazing Todd McFarlane cover. Let's get this comic out of the Mylar and take a closer look at it. All right, so as you can see, this is a pretty low-grade copy of this book. Tons and tons of spine ticks, lots of wrinkling on the cover, just a really low-grade copy. But you know what? I didn't have it in the collection, so I was super excited when I pulled this out of a double bag, right? There was more than one comic in the bag, and this just happened to be hidden behind the front comic. So pretty awesome here. Love that Todd McFarlane Batman logo there. Obviously we got the miscolored piece here. If you weren't aware, that was missed in the proofing. Should be yellow here in this little section, but we get the red. And then this is a third printing of the book, and the way you can tell that, number one, is that this says DC Comics aren't just for kids. Now the first and second prints are going to have that designation. The first print will have kind of a silhouette of Batman's head here, and then the newsstand is going to have the barcodes, obviously. The second and third printings also have this TurboGrafx ad on the back, but then also on the inside here, on the indicia, you have second or third printing right here at the bottom, letting you know which copy that is. Now you can see these staples are just barely holding on here in the top and the bottom, so this is going right back in the Mylar. So yeah, really excited to have this comic in my collection. It's one that was on my want list. But every time I saw it, I just wasn't up for paying the price that I was seeing on it. And there's no better price than free, so I am super excited to add this to my collection. Most likely going to be a price or a placeholder for a better condition copy, but you know what? This one is great, and as Brandon over at Mon Comics always says, low grade is better than no grade, and that's the exact attitude I have with this book. All right, we'll move on here. Batman 424 to follow it up. I like this Christmas with the superheroes book here. You know, got Superman looking through the box, seeing the lead inside there. Just a really cool holiday themed, extra thick book as well. Here Lies Earth's Greatest Hero, where we have Superman dying in his fight against Doomsday. Also had the trading card here. This copy is super beat up, but you know, we see those everywhere. And then the last DC book here is this War of the Gods landmark first issue. Now, if you've enjoyed this so far, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've ever picked up any free comic books and what the best ones were. All right, starting things off on the Marvel side of things, we've got some Avengers books here. Some nice Doctor Doom covers. Those are always great. This Conan is pretty awesome. This is some early Todd McFarlane work with this title here. We got this classic Daredevil 290 cover with Bullseye and Daredevil duking it out there. Another key here, popular 90s title. I just recently got my first copy of this last summer, I believe it was, but I was excited to pick up another copy in this collection, Darkhawk #1. Just kind of a meme book there at times, but I was always a big fan of Darkhawk. He was actually one of my favorites growing up as a kid. So we got a little run of Darkhawk here. And I love this cover of Darkhawk and Venom on issue number 13. All right, now like I mentioned in the intro, these comic books were free at a local card shop. And before we go any further here, we've got another first appearance of Lady Jane in G.I. Joe 32 here. But yeah, these comics, another awesome cover here with Destro. These comics were all free, and they had actually gotten them in with a trading card collection that they had recently purchased, and the comics came along with the collection, and they had to take them. And like I said, sometimes this shop has comics, but it's really not their forte, not something they want to deal with. I don't even know if they looked through these at all or not. Awesome Howard the Duck here, number 12. This is the first cameo appearance of the band Kiss in comics. So yeah, they got this collection of sports cards in. Comics were included. They had to essentially take them in order to make the deal on the cards. They didn't want to work on, figuring out what was what with these comics, so they were just giving them away, and I happened to be there, right place, right time, and was able to pick all of these up. Now, a lot of these, I love this John Byrne cover here. Or is this Byrne? I don't know that this is Byrne. Let me know in the comments. It just has that facial expression here that reminds me of John Byrne. I could be way off. I know we got some names on the side here, so yeah, looks like I'm probably wrong. Yeah, hit me up in the comments, tear me apart. That's all right. I love this Hulk fighting Santa Claus as well. We got Iron Man here. Where was I at with this story? Oh yeah, so a lot of these comics were bagged and boarded, or at least bagged, but they were doubled up. So a lot of these bags, some of them even had 3 comics in them. A lot of them you couldn't tell what they were. So, you know, that's the deal with the Batman. It was behind another comic book in one of the bags, and, you know, I was super excited when I pulled these out. I should have been recording to get that first look and first reaction of finding that Batman 423, because I was up in my living room just pulling them out, and my wife was sitting there and she's like, "You should have been recording this." I was like, "Yeah, I'm an idiot." But I really didn't expect that book to come out of this collection. All right, continuing on with Marvel, we've got this awesome Masters of the Universe #3. I love Hordak, the character here. We've got his slime pit in full effect. Unfortunately, this book is really beat up. You can see here it has been restapled, so this cover is completely torn off and restapled. I'm thinking about taking this one apart and turning it into buttons. I've done that with some really torn up comics because I really don't see any value in this book. The most I could probably get out of it at my booth is $1. So I would rather, I think, tear it up, cut it up, and make it into some buttons. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Some 90s gold, not foil, but gold stamping, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And then there is a ton of Punisher in this. The majority of the rest of this collection is various Punisher titles, so let's get right into them. Stack is shifting, no good. Another foil embossed cover here on issue 61. All right, and then we got Punisher Warzone #1 with that cool die cut cover there. Always like those style of comics, similar to like that yellow Wolverine #50 cover. Another foiled and embossed Warzone Suicide Run issue #23 here. Unfortunately, someone decided to fill in with pen. A couple lines there on the Star Wars title. Toxic Avenger #1, very cool cover. Not worth much, but I really like Toxic Avenger. I like these What the titles as well, especially this #14 with Spider-Man there. Free poster inside. Still doesn't make it worth anything. And that's going to wrap it up for the free comics. All right, so I don't think it gets better than that when it comes to free comic books. You know, a Batman 423, even in low grade condition, that was a book I was looking for, like I mentioned, and super happy to add it to my personal collection, along with a couple of those other keys, right? The Dark Hawk one that was in there, that's a second copy for my collection. It'll probably go to my booth. That awesome Howard the Duck with that first comic appearance of Kiss, and then that Lady Jane first appearance in the G.I. Joe book. All right, so let me know in the comments below, have you ever picked up any free comic books, and what were the best books in there? As always, I appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. You know, you can get those notifications if you hit that notification bell, so you know exactly when I release new content. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. We'll catch you in the next video.